together with the measures the Chinese government has taken, and a little bit about the situations in my consular district, and also what we have been doing as a consul general here. I got two titles. One, of course, is the consul general in New York. That's my formal title. But since I served as ambassador before in Zimbabwe, actually before coming here, so people will also call me ambassador. But I would like to use the title consul general here today because I care more about the situations in the consular district. Consul general is unlike the ambassador. Ambassador talk about things in the whole country. Consul general focus on the consular district here in my 10 states. So as of 24 hours on February the 3rd, the National Health Commission had received 20,433 reports. Is there anything wrong there? It's okay. They received 20,433 reports of confirmed cases and 425 deaths in 31 provincial level regions on the Chinese mainland. 632 patients had been cured and discharged from hospital. There still remained 23,214 suspected cases and 2,788 patients in serious condition. That's the figure I got. Worldwide, according to the WHO situation reports on February the 3rd, there are 153 confirmed cases outside of China, among which 7 are new. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention of the USA, which is CDC, reported that there are 11 confirmed cases in the United States as of February the 3rd. In our consul district on February the 1st, a university student in Massachusetts, in Boston, has been diagnosed as a first Massachusetts resident with the new coronavirus. Yesterday, I personally traveled to Boston and met with Martin Mian, I hope I pronounced his name right, president of UMass, with his agreement, and we are glad to learn that the situation of the students has been improving and is now steadily recovering from the coronavirus infection. Our consulate has been in close communication with the local governments in the consular district. By the way, I have 10 states in my consular districts, including 6 from the New England area, and the state of New York, the state of New Jersey, the state of Pennsylvania, and Ohio. Yesterday, I met with Governor Baker in Boston, and we talked a lot of shared information on how should we work together to deal with this outbreak. And today, is she here?
Not yet, yeah.
And also, we also keep the close contact with Governor Comer's office here in New York, and in getting information and sharing the measures, what we should do to deal with this disease. Now, the prevention and control of the outbreak is China's top priority and the most important work for now. People's well-being always comes first. President Xi Jinping chaired a special meeting of the Standing Committee of the Political Bureau of the Communist Party of China, CPC, Central Committee on the outbreak on January the 25th. That was the first day of this Lunar New Year. Entrusted by him, Premier Li Keqiang visited Wuhan on the 27th to inspect the novel coronavirus prevention and control efforts. The Standing Committee of the Political Bureau of the Communist Party of China Central Committee yesterday held the second meeting on novel coronaviruses. Xi Jinping pointed out that the most crucial task for the moment is to execute arrangements to the details and call for prompt and resolute actions in containing the spread of the epidemic. The Chinese government so far has taken the most strict and comprehensive measures and will continue to resolutely make sure that all those measures are effectively implemented in prevention and control. So there are a few measures I'd like to briefly introduce to you. Number one is mobilization. We have mobilized all the resources in China and established the all-round and multi-layered prevention and control system focusing on Wuhan and Hubei. So central government, local government, government officials from all levels have been mobilized to put the prevention and control efforts in the top priority. That's a major job right now. And there is a mechanism, a national joint prevention and control mechanism has been put in place immediately after the outbreak. Number two is all the strict measures. You've heard lots of things happening there, like the lockdown of Wuhan and some other cities, and also transport restriction, extending the Spring Festival holidays for maybe 10 days or even 2 weeks, according to the measures taken in different places, postponing school openings, cancellation of these gatherings. This is a holiday season. There are lots of get-togethers, and close of public venues, personal tracking and management, temperature detection on those airports, train stations, and everywhere. If people found some people with abnormal temperature, they could be sent to hospital for medical observation. Number three, we have mobilized a lot of resources. Like the government allocates like $4 billion to deal with this, and 6,000 medical workers have been sent from different parts of China to Hubei province, to Wuhan to support. You heard about these new facilities and 2 hospitals under construction. One is now ready to host the patients. It's called the Huoshensan. I think it's a start to receive patients. This hospital was built or has been built in 10 days with 1,000 beds. 1,400 doctors have been sent from the army into this hospital. Another hospital called the Leishensan Hospital will be ready in this week. That hospital is even bigger, which has 1,500 beds. Yeah. There are other facilities under construction. And number 4, we have launched a campaign of health knowledge education. This is not an easy battle. So everybody must participate. Rather than rely on the protection offered by the government, they should protect themselves. They should follow. We will educate them to try to stay at home, not to going around, keep a personal hygiene and to do whatever they can to secure their safety, to help. This is quite effective, especially in those countryside or areas of weakness in public health. And then number 5, we have taken great efforts to prevent the academic from flowing out of the country. Ever since the outbreak of the epidemic, China has taken highly responsible attitude, actively engaged in international cooperation. China has promptly informed the WHO and the relevant countries and regions, including the United States, of the epidemic situation. In addition to sharing information such as genetic sequences of the new virus at the first time, China has invited experts from WHO, Hong Kong, Macau, and the Taiwan regions to do field study in Wuhan. Chinese embassies and the consulates abroad have also been in close communication with the governments of the host countries, keeping them informed of the outbreak and the Chinese prevention and control efforts. Welcome, Linda. She's from the governor's office of New York. Yes, welcome. So the above-mentioned measures are showing positive effects, like the mortality rate is now, we know, it's around 2.1%, which is much lower than other diseases like SARS, like Ebola, like all those. And also, numbers of recovered cases is increasing, it's also rising, and it has surpassed the death. Those were the good signs. And we are also doing intensive research in finding the drugs to deal with this, and also the vaccine, and certain progress have been achieved. There are many others. In my consulate general, we pay close attention to the epidemic situation, and we issue relevant reminders in a timely manner through our website, WeChat public account, and our Instagram account. Now see, we got an Instagram account here. You can become our we strengthen consular work related to the academic. The consulate deploys more manpower to answer the citizens' inquiry for help. And we also increase the frequency of disinfection of the visa office. People are still traveling. They come to apply for the visa. We scientifically control and guide the flow of applicants. Here, those are the jobs we do. In case of the travel ban, there are lots of changes. We thought they might got a problem, so we dispatch different groups of people to the airport just to be there to help those Chinese travelers if they encounter any kind of problem. Yeah. Well, China are bravely fighting the virus. People from the United States and all over the world are offering massive support in preventing and controlling this outbreak. You heard about our spokeswoman's comment on U.S. aid, but that's from the government point of view. Here, I have this number. Large multinationals such as Microsoft, Dell, Boeing, L'Oreal, and many others, they have donated from those companies, $1.4 million in cash and items to Chinese Red Cross and the Hubei province. Johnson & Johnson has initiated vaccine development and will provide antiviral medicines to China for investigational use. MBA has made an announcement to donate 10 million worth of RMB aid to China. In the past week, my council has received numerous emails and phone calls asking for ways to donate and help. According to uncompleted statistics, overseas Chinese, the Chinese community in our council district have donated up to now around 400,000 US dollars worth of goods and around 2 million masks, 27,000 protective suits and other medical supplies to China. China Central Chamber of Commerce, as well as companies like Amarak, Frontage Laboratories in Philadelphia, have also donated cash and items to Chinese hospitals and charity organizations. The logistic people have also offered tremendous help in the delivery of those relevant items. Now here I want to mention a doctor from Columbia University, Dr. Lipkin, who has been known as a virus hunter. He went to China at the invitation of the Chinese university, Sun University, and this is his second time to go to China to help. He went to China when SARS broke out many years ago and offered tremendous help. He's now still in Beijing, and let me take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude and appreciation to American people and the people of so many countries in the world for their valuable support to China. We also want to see the early arrival of the help from American government. Epidemic prevention is a challenge for all human beings. The fight against the coronavirus outbreak shows again that we live in the shared community where all of us are interlinked and interdependent. I believe that in the face of catastrophe, people around the world should put aside the differences and unite together. Humanity will eventually overwhelm calamity. As U.S. former President Franklin Roosevelt said, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror which paralyzes needed efforts to convert retreat into advance. Thank you. That's my briefing. Now I'm ready to take a few questions.
Thank you, Last Council. So we have about half an hour for the Q&A session. So plenty of opportunities for questions. That's Rogers, Thank you,
or Council General Wang, as you guided us. Hi, it's Echo from Reuters. I have a couple of questions. Could you share with us a little bit the considerations from China regarding allowing disease experts from WHO and CDC America to go to China? What are the concerns around that, and what are the guidelines for the members of these disease experts?
Mm-hmm.
And another question, is there any direct conversations going on between China and the U.S. regarding the travel bans or travel restrictions that have been put into place? Thank you.
Now, for the first one, we have been working very closely with the international community in sharing the informations and the joint efforts to deal with this disease. As you know, this disease has no boundaries, and we need to work together to deal with this. So we are looking forward. We have invited the experts from WHO and many other countries, regions, to come to China to actually to the field, to do the field study, trying to find out, the ways how should we cope with that more effectively. And U.S. government has expressed the willingness to join, to send experts to join the WHO. So we are looking forward for their arrival. We are very thankful for this. And for the second one, I think we need to follow the guidance of the WHO. Everybody knows the comments or advice from the WHO's Director General. He went to China himself. He had meetings with our leaders. He went to study, and his conclusion was that China has done tremendously to cope with this disease. He is quite confident. He has a fully confidence that China is going to win this battle. He spoke highly about all the efforts China has put into the prevention and the control. And in the meantime, he says this is a time for the international community to join hands to work together. He does not recommend the travel ban or trade ban in any sense. So I think that's a very good guidance we should follow. Thank you.
Okay, second question, Serena from Fox News, Fox Business.
Thank you for doing this presser for us. I'm Serena from Fox Business. Larry Kudlow just told Fox Business this morning that it's true that exports in Phase 1 deal would take longer because of the coronavirus. So my question is, will the coronavirus affect China's ability to purchase American farm goods or any other parts of the trade agreements? Second question is, the U.S. says its action to prevent the virus from spreading follow standard scientific protocol and are quote-unquote prudent in nature. Do you continue to suggest the U.S. government is creating panic? Thank you.
Okay, for the first one, I really don't know. I hope the Phase 1 deal, which we tried very hard to get there, will not be affected. So let's wait and see how quickly this could be over for this disease. And for your second question, can you repeat that again? Saying
the U.S. says action to prevent the virus from spreading.
Yes.
Follow standard scientific protocols
yes.
and are prudent in nature.
Yes.
And we know that from the Chinese side, there's been comments about U.S. government is creating panic.
As I said before, the WHO has issued this guidance and asking countries not to overreact. He rejects any ban on travel and the trade. So we understand all the measures taken by U.S. and many other countries, but I think still we should follow the guidance from the WHO and not to issue measures stricter than that or overreacting.
Okay, the third question, Christina from ABC.
Hi, Christine Theodoro, ABC News. The World Health Organization has widely praised China's response for identifying the pathogens, the sequence of the genetic disease, communicating that effectively in the response. President Xi yesterday said in the meeting that this was a major test for China's systems and capacity for governance. So it's been interpreted that he's admitting to shortcomings, or I was hoping you would be able to provide some clarifications as to what challenges he's referring to specifically and how difficult the next steps are in your response.
Yeah, you have seen, all the response efforts, we've been trying very hard to mobilize all the possible resources. We want our government officials to do the job, try their best to do the job. But some of them were not doing very well. And you have seen, the lady in charge of that Hubei province area. There is a small city there. She got fired. Maybe 2 hours after I saw her from the TV, she could not answer the questions asked by the monitoring group. Simple questions. So if people there, government officials, are not doing their job, they will be replaced. Yes.
Question?
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about what you're doing to support Chinese students here in the United States who might have concerns about the virus? Mm-hmm. And could you talk a little bit about the Princeton and Cornell quarantines? Or
excuse me, from AP, right?
Yeah, AP, Associated Press.
Yes. My council district has a large number of Chinese nationals, either as a tourists or students or people or business people doing business here. Last year in New York alone, we got 1.12 million travelers coming as a tourists. And in my council district, the student number goes up to 130,000. It's 1/3 of the whole student population from China starting in the United States. So we have been attaching great importance to inform them, to get ready to help once the help is needed. When the case in Massachusetts occurred, I personally went there yesterday. So I got a meeting with the president, and I was so happy to learn that the student, his condition is very stable. He did the right thing, right? He came back. He went to Wuhan. He came back and found himself uncomfortable. So he went to the clinic. He sought the medical help. So right now, he's now in quarantine. I think the school and the Massachusetts State and Boston City, they've been doing a very good job. On the one hand, the students' quarantine has been quite properly arranged. And number two, there is no panic there. I don't see many people wearing masks or walking on the streets. And all the get-together, those things are still going on. I only spent a day there in Boston, but I feel, restaurants, coffee shops, and people are traveling with no masks. Very good. Yeah.
Well done.
By the way, I send my greetings. I wish him, to recover very quickly through the help. They keep this privacy of the students. I could not phone him. We follow this, measures taken by the university. They've been doing a very good job. I should speak very highly.
From the last row here.
Yeah,
CBS, right?
Yeah, ABC.
ABC.
Can you just speak about the global response and reaction and people's concern to what's been going on? And how can you tell people to calm down a little bit?
Yeah, and this is, since the outbreak, people all over the world have showed their concern. Many countries have taken measures in prevention and control. But I think the guidance from the WHO is very, very important. We understand the measures from different countries taken since the outbreak, but I believe all those measures should be on scientific basis and rely on the facts and many others. So we will do whatever we can and to control this disease from spreading. Actually, China's been doing everything we can to prevent this. Right now, very few cases I should say another way, most of the cases happen in China. Very few cases in compare with those influenza and in compare with many other similar diseases like Ebola, like SARS and H1N1.
Do you see the numbers getting higher in the deaths?
Actually, yeah, the numbers are still going up. It's not the peak yet from the numbers I got. But you see, on the other hand, people got killed. This number is also, or discharged from the hospitals, numbers also going higher. You see the influenza here is a lot more actually dangerous. Starting from October the 1st, I also read from the media, from October the 1st last year up to now, 19 million people get affected. Lots of people went to hospital and more than 10,000 people died already. That's a lot more scary.
Rick from New York Times.
Yes.
Thank you, Ambassador, Consul General.
Yeah, thank you.
For the briefing. I had a follow-up question to something that was asked earlier by one of our colleagues. You said that there are 130,000 students within the 10 states that are under your in your area, and that I just wanted to make sure I understood this correctly. That you said that you've attached great importance to their well-being.
Yeah, well-being, safety.
And to get ready to help when help is needed. You mean for the consulate stands ready to help when help is needed, or that you ask them to help?
Oh, both ways. Both ways. This is something we have to do altogether. Now, first of all, we follow very intensively all the information we can get from CDC, from the immigration, because those regulations are changing very quickly. So we will make the maximum use of our channel. Like we have the WeChat, we have a website, we have this Instagram here. We will publish all those informations, and in the meantime, we will issue a reminder. Say, okay, please note that this regulation has been changed. So get ready. If you are traveling, for example, recently, you need to follow the immigration regulations, which has been changed. And for those who are still here, studying there, and we recommend them to rethink, maybe reschedule those activities. During the spring festival time, lots of people are getting together, having good time, parties and all those. So we say, can you decide whether you want to delay that or to avoid those mass getting together. So those were the jobs we do. And for the student who got affected there, I personally went there to see the president of the UMass, express our concern and care, and also I met the governor, I met the representative of Boston mayor, and to see, how we can work together. Lots of things we have been doing. Yes? Huh? I'm sorry.
Ida from NBC.
Hi there.
Are you finished?
You mentioned that in Massachusetts, people are not wearing masks and they're not panicking, which you said was a good thing. Here in New York, if you go to Flushing or you go to Chinatown, you'll see lots of people wearing masks.
Yes.
What would you say to these people who are very afraid?
I think we need to deal with this on a scientific basis. I think the CDC's instruction is very important. I think, the information we can get from New York City or New York State is very, very important. I can't say you should not wear mask or something. That's your freedom, right? You can wear the mask, but I think you should follow those instructions from the professional organization.
거기 쪽에 South China monitors.
Thank you. I have two questions. First, China has allowed the U.S. to send a group of experts to China. Can you tell us more details about how they're going to work together? Will the U.S. experts get directly involved? Will they be able to view and define data of human-to-human transmission? Or will they be allowed to go to Hubei and collect the samples? Second question is, China has reiterated that it will be transparent, but China has shared only the virus genetic sequence. So can you tell us any details about what you mean by being transparent and to what extent? Thanks.
Okay, for the first one, as I said before, we welcome American experts to go to China, join the WHO, to go to China and work with Chinese scientists. I don't know the details, how they would work. They're not there yet. I think this will be arranged properly as the international team working together to deal with this. This should be no problem. And for the second, since the outbreak, China has been releasing information in a timely, transparent, and responsible way. I don't know when you say we only issue the genetic sequence. I think we've issued a lot more than just that. We are releasing the information collected daily to update all the information there. And we will continue to do that, for sure.
Brendan from Western Europe.
Yeah, I just want to follow up a little bit. You've been pointing to the WHO guidance, obviously, on the travel restrictions. I'm just wondering, obviously, because China's acted so aggressively domestically, shutting down many of the cities in the Hubei province. Does that make it more difficult to make this case to other countries that travel restrictions aren't necessary because China's acting so aggressively internally?
You mean making this travel in China more difficult?
Right. In other words, China's used a lot of travel restrictions to try to contain the outbreak. But, but the other side of this is pointing to the WHO message saying that travel restrictions internationally aren't necessary. So I guess I'm just wondering, does that complicate the message that you're trying to give to these other countries, or are they pushing back and saying, well, look, here's what China's doing? What are you hearing from some of those?
Most of the cases are happening in China, right? So it's necessary for China to take the most strict and comprehensive measures just to control the spreading. And that's the urgent thing to prevent those diseases from transmitting to other countries. So it's a kind of sacrifice for Chinese people. You don't want to stay at home. You want to travel to other places. You don't want to cancel your get-togethers. Those were the things, the whole country are working together. My son has been staying at home for a long time already. And, everybody must do something for the prevention and control. This is not a time for travel. This is a time to kill the disease, to prevent it from spreading. This is an urgent time. But internationally, I think the WHO's guidance is so important. We want to prevent this disease from spreading, but in the meantime, I think we need to adopt a scientific way to deal with it. Be reasonable, be calm, and not cause any panic or disturbance for the international or people-to-people exchange internationally.
Ray, can you have another question?
Yes, sorry, I had one follow-up question, Consul General. Of the 130,000 students that are under in your area, have you attempted to find out how many come from Hubei or from Wuhan, and how recently they had been there. And so do you have numbers you can share about that?
Yeah, that's a very important question. We've been trying our best to find out. We want to have this information, especially those students who have been to Hubei provinces recently. But it's not that easy. We say, please report to us if you have been there. We put this, through many channels. We want them to report. And we get in touch with schools in my district. Other schools, we say, please let us know if you have people who have been to Hubei. We got a few feedback. But in the meantime, U.S. schools, you have your regulations. That's a student's privacy, I don't want to say they're not cooperating, but they say they have to follow the regulations, not to leak any privacy things of the students to us. So I don't have the total number of that. Even if I have, it's not complete, I should say. But good thing is we only got one case in Massachusetts, confirmed the case. All the schools are taking very good care of those students. I think they've been doing a wonderful job.
Just a follow-up question on the travel restrictions. Is there any direct conversation between U.S. and China on that, or are they discussing through a third party?
We believe, maybe the U.S. reaction is a little, over, especially the evacuation of the diplomats from, Wuhan. I personally don't quite get it, It's not the practice of Chinese diplomats. I myself did a few evacuations. And at a difficult time or something like that, the diplomats of China will be sent in rather than being pulling out, because you might get people there who need you. So diplomats will be the last to leave, not the first. That's our practice. I don't know, since I'm a consul general here, I just really don't know, what is happening in those high-level conversations about that. But I believe, you can maybe get the information from the spokeswoman or spokesman of the foreign ministry.
Okay. Besides the international media, we also have some local media from the Chinese community here. So it's from
Xinjiang. Because yesterday there is a case happening in Chinatown. An Asian American woman who wearing a mask was beaten by a guy. So there's a concern spreading in Chinese community that maybe there's a hate crime targeting Chinese people who are wearing masks. Do you have any comments or any suggestions?
Yeah, I really don't want to see this. I expressed my concern to either the governor of Massachusetts who had a meeting or the president of UMass. I say, the virus is the enemy, not the Chinese. So I hope that case should not affect the normal life and the study of all the Chinese in Boston, in Massachusetts, and in campus. I heard about the story you just mentioned, but I'd like to quote, Dr. Tedros, who is a director general of WHO. He said, "This is a time for facts, not fear. This is the time for science, not rumors. And this is a time for solidarity, not stigma." So I want to, all the public to get this message. We should unite together internationally to deal with this fatal disease rather than, going on this trade or racial issues. This should be prevented.
Are there any questions? Yes, please.
Yeah, sure. Hi, from People's Daily. Yeah, thank you, Congressman Huang. Well, what measures are we taking to advocate or educate our overseas Chinese, including tourists and young students, to strengthen their confidence or just reduce their panic on this, academic intervention?
Yes, we've been doing all we can, to publish all those informations we gained about China's efforts in prevention and control, about the progress we've achieved, about the WHO's guidance and many others. In the meantime, I think we have this problem now, but there is no need to be panic. On the other side, we also release or publish all those informations about the measures taken by other countries on restriction on their travel, or the possibility of the challenges they might encounter. And to let them know they might, encounter those challenges. So be prepared to deal with that. We've been doing all those things we can. Yeah. Yes?
Yes.
Hello, I'm with China Daily. My question that I noticed that some media reports that some foreigners express their racial prejudice towards some Chinese or even Asian. So what's your attitude towards that?
I mean, I think I said before, this should be prevented. People should be united together to deal with this disease. So right now, this is not a good tendency. We should work together to prevent this. We should condemn this prejudice and all those, hate things.
Yep.
Are you going to provide a number for somebody to call?
Yes.
Not people from the United States, because we are.
You are wearing a mask.
But people from people from China that are here that may not communicate well and are feeling bad. Can you provide something in Chinese so that they know where to call?
Yes, I got this hot number. Find that one for me. We got a number, 24 hours calling number, not specially for this, but it runs every year. Every day, 24 hours, all year around, for emergency call for assistance. And to prevent this from, we have added another one, the number. You want the number here?
Yeah, if you could just say it, so.
Okay, let me get the number. I will read that to you. I can't remember, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Okay. It's 212-695-3125. In Chinese, 212-695-3125. We have increased the manpower to make sure all the calls will be received and handled properly. And if you cannot get through, we got another one for the global emergency call in China. It's 12308. 12308. 12308 热线. This is a number you can call whenever and wherever you are, or you have a problem you want to get assistance or help, you can call from anywhere at any time, all year round, 24 hours.
From China Central Television.
Yeah, Consul General Huang, I'm from the China Media Group.
Yeah.
First, a follow-up question. say you mentioned the Consulate General has made a lot of efforts to brief people with the latest information on the virus. Do you have any contingency plan actually to cover the Chinese who are traveling, studying, or doing business here in your council district?
Yeah.
If there's any they are infected with the disease, or there's any hate crime against them? This is the first question. And the second question is, you just mentioned that Professor Lipkin from the Columbia University has traveled to China to help combat the disease. So we know there are a lot of other professional organizations and universities here in your council district. So is the Consulate General in contact with other experts for them to support China, help China through all possible channels, or are you making arrangements for more experts to go to China? Thank you.
Yes, we've been trying to, to get all the necessary help from international community. And Dr. Lipkin went to China at the invitation of the Sun Yat-sen University in Guangzhou. He actually went there. We're very, very grateful. I don't know whether he's coming back today or not. He himself is subject to the quarantine upon, coming back. And I also met two professors from Harvard University and seeking for advice. I will try to get more, help from all the channels. So if you get any resources, I'd like to be informed so we can get in touch. We are trying to get all this professional help. U.S. is very strong in controlling this. Your system is very strong. You got wonderful experts. So that's why I say we're looking forward for the experts from the U.S. to go to China and working with the Chinese scientists.
Okay, last two questions. New York Times?
Yes, for Americans and others in your district who want to make donations, yes, monetary donations, or medical supplies or whatever, what do you recommend for them? Do you have a list of charities or agencies that will accept those donations? Or how do they do it?
Yeah, you can get this information on the website of Chinese government very easily, and we also published this information on our website here. Normally, it's go through the Red Cross in China, in Hubei provinces. They are the organization doing this job, been diagnosed, by the Chinese government to do this job. And the consulate here, we would do our best, try our best to facilitate the contact and the shipping of all those things to China.
Okay, last question, Echo from Reuters.
Is there any estimate made by the Chinese authorities about when the daily infection rate would start diminishing?
This is not what I can answer. We have to listen to the scientists. And I did heard about Zhong Nanshan's comments. Zhong Nanshan is a very famous scientist. He said we might need another 10 to 14 days before we reach the peak. But you can check this his comments from the website. I don't get this personal information.
14 days are made, the estimate made by Zhong Nanshan.
His comments, I just checked before I came in. I saw a news in Chinese there. He's talking about that. But I don't know whether it could be true or not, because right now, as everybody knows, before Wuhan was shut down, the city was shut down, lots of people left already for Spring Festival. So it's very difficult to get this accurate number. They're everywhere in China. So this is really not an easy job, But we're trying our best to bring this down as quickly as possible. I hope all of you will be supporting us. I want to, before I end this, I really want to express my sincere gratitude to all the sympathy and the concerns from American companies, American peoples, of course, from the goodwill of American governments. Really looking forward to the early arrival of the help from your government. Let's work together. China is going to win this battle with your strong support. I thank you.
Thank you for coming. This is the end of the press conference. Thank you, Ambassador Wong Ping. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
First time.
Thank you.
I have it on my photo.
I wish I could answer in more comprehensive, but as a Consul General, my information